Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Undressed with Paul and Patrick and Little Snow White 90210.
Hello, undressed. Bees. I'm not undressed-anistas. Undressed-anistas. That's what we're calling all of our undressed listeners. I'm excited. We've got a really awesome guest in the Paul Atu.
She's sexy.
Beverly Hills boutique today.
She's hot.
And she's not here looking for a fucking dress. That I can guarantee you.
She is very undressed.
Exactly.
Underdressed.
Dressed down. We have, you guys know her, comedian, writer, actor, producer. I think she's a producer. We'll find out.
Friend, wife,
Yes, exactly.
lover.
Fortune Feimster.
There's
Here
your
from
camera.
Netflix. Woohoo.
My espresso.
Yes.
She's drinking her Armenian cocaine. She's
Yes.
It's
injecting
really
all
good though.
And Fortune, we still love you, even though you did call it Turkish coffee.
Oh, can't have that in the same
I
forum.
apologize. I have been schooled. Now I know better.
You know, Paul's Armenian. We're never allowed to discuss that. Ever.
Yeah, that was my bad. I got here late in my defense, and I was a bit frazzled, so I wasn't thinking straight.
It's all good. We went to Turkey, actually, and we were on
we
were
went
in
to
Greece.
Where
were we?
we went to former Armenia.
Oh, okay, yes, it was
on
Turkey.
on that yacht you went on?
No,
That
this was
one?
a different trip.
Oh, okay.
No,
Croatia was amazing, but this
that's right.
was a different
That's
trip.
Croatia
We
to
did a
Venice.
tour in Turkey, and he was
former Armenia.
Okay, and the tour guide kept saying Turkey this, Turkey, 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 and Paul goes, excuse me, I need you to refer to this country as former Armenia.
Yeah, why are you referring to it to something that's today? I'm here. It's my
I hear you,
heritage.
but they have accepted it as Turkey now, right?
Yes.
Well, if we can change Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America,
Yeah.
that is former Armenia.
And hey,
I'm changing it on Google.
we're getting a 51st state, Canada. I'm so
Yes.
excited.
I'm at the grounds now. I just had some.
Ooh, that means, Fortune, he's gonna flip you.
Woo!
You've been flipped by Paul Atu.
Wow.
I know.
I've never had this done before.
Really?
By anyone.
You're kidding.
The flipping or just the coffee?
This flipping of coffee.
Oh, wow. You've never had your cup grounds red.
I will say, if anyone was like, told me this was a thing, I'd be like, no way. But everyone swears by you guys. Well,
Yeah.
They swear by your
Thank you,
skills,
Fortune,
yes.
because this one doesn't do shit.
I was like,
Yeah,
You know-
he's not the one that does any of it.
Fortune-
He's marketing it into
whatever.
into a
Fortune,
money
can
machine.
you tell him that you have Jax behind you and he
Yep,
has
that's
me behind
right.
him? And thankfully, right?
Well, the last time I saw Jack, she was hanging out with her mom, and you weren't there, so it
I
doesn't
know,
really
y'all.
matter.
She sent me a picture of all you guys together. That was so
that
funny.
was fun. I didn't know her name was Jacqueline Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cute.
She back in the day, like when she was going to the airport, they were like Jacqueline Smith, thinking it was the Charlie's Angel.
Was she tossing her hair?
And she showed up, and they were like, "Oh,
Oh my
Like,
God.
she still could be a Charlie's
Of
Angel."
course.
She's gorgeous.
She's your
Very
angel.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
That's right.
Absolutely. So I want to find out. I'm curious. I know you've been doing comedy for like ever.
Is that what you really do? Is that what it is?
I think you're
Comedy?
pretty
It's
funny.
called comedy?
Pretty funny.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
That's what the people call it.
How many years have you actually been doing comedy?
2005, so 20 years.
Wow.
I
Can
started
I
it-
say that I've watched almost every single one of the specials
Oh,
that you've
yeah?
done
Yeah, they're fun.
anywhere?
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And I didn't even know you back then.
Really?
I mean,
Yeah.
we've known each other
Aw.
for a while now,
Yeah.
but not as long as what you've done professionally.
Yeah.
But I've watched it every single time, and I laugh.
Aw.
And I
Yeah.
love those.
Thank you.
That's one of the things. I love stand-up.
Yeah, it's well, in these times we need it.
It's
You
funny
know?
because we watch, he'll turn on, like, we'll try, oh, what do you want to watch? What do you want to watch? And he always wants to find, like, a stand-up.
Yeah.
I'll just
Sure, he
randomly.
loves
I
it.
know, it's nice, right? And these days there's so many different stand-ups, and they tell us, there's so many different perspectives. I like that. That it's just a
So
big,
many.
nice hodgepodge of different experiences.
Where's your inspiration come from, though? It's like people, when they ask me about my collection and
Yeah.
the clothes that I make, I'm like, I just sleep and I wake up and then the shit happens.
Oh, yeah?
I don't understand if it's experiences,
Yeah.
because you talk about your family, you talk about people
do.
you know, you talk about experiences that you've had.
Yeah, I draw on my life. Everything that I tell is true. I obviously make, punch things up, make it funnier.
Yeah.
I talk about a lot about my mom, my relationship, and I've been dipping into childhood stories. Those are really funny to me because I think having a quirky mom has led itself to having funny things.
Yeah.
In my childhood. And I'll call my mom and she'll just have some insane story and then it'll end up on stage.
But you think it's funny now, but you didn't think it was funny back then.
I did not think it was funny growing up, no.
That's crazy.
But my family is very much the kind of people who find the humor in even the hardest of things, And I remember like when my grandmother died, we were also devastated but then somehow ended up, crying, laughing at 30 minutes in. It was no disrespect to her. It's just how we deal with pain.
But you would expect that, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's just the thing. I just was taught to sort of always see the silver lining.
Yeah.
What is funny about this terrible thing? Like, where is the levity? That's what I look for.
Yeah.
Not that I don't take things seriously or give things its proper weight, but just then at some point, like, what is the funny here?
But it's the way you deal with it.
Where did you grow up?
In North Carolina.
So south. You're from
yeah.
Southern. You're a Southern belle.
Southern Belle. Right from outside.
Wait,
of
did you have a
Charlotte.
cotillion? Did you have one of those big girls?
I did.
What
Okay,
color?
wait. Have you ever worn a fucking dress?
Yes! I was in the closet till I was 25, so I wore a lot of dresses.
Really?
And I went to women's college, so I had to dress
Oh,
dresses
that's
for
nice.
them.
I would have loved to
my
go to a
God.
men's
I'll
college.
have to
and
show
say, "I'm here."
you a picture of me in
Yes.
my white wedding gown for the debutante ball.
Oh
my
my
God.
I
God.
was a lady back in the day.
Did you have a parasol?
No, not that old school. But yeah, I mean, in the South, they just have all those feminine
tradition.
traditions that just don't resonate at all with me. But I was kind of forced to do these things because my mom is very feminine, very girly, and she wanted me to be very feminine, very girly. So my whole closet, they said when I was a child, like up until 5, was like dresses, tons of dresses, like
Oh my God.
lots of gowns.
You haven't been in a closet like this in a while.
It's bringing back memories.
But it is a beautiful closet, Paul. You
Yeah.
do amazing stuff. You
So-
really do.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was always fighting against that as I got older. She wanted me to be in dresses and be
Were you
more
the only
feminine.
child?
I was the only girl. I had 2 older brothers.
Oh, okay.
So I just wanted to be like them.
You're the youngest.
Yeah, I wanted to wear what they wore.
What's wrong with that?
I mean, it's just that it didn't fit that feminine mold.
Yeah.
Especially back then in the 80s when I was coming up, you just were expected to sort of fit in and be like everybody else. And there was not that. Being different and was not really celebrated back then,
Well, being yourself was never
Exactly,
celebrated.
yeah.
Not
You're from the
different.
South, so are you Catholic? Were you raised Catholic?
No, Methodist.
Okay, so it's either
Yeah.
Catholic or Methodist, one or
Isn't
the
it-
other.
Is there
kind
a
of
lot
from
of
the
Catholics
South.
in the South?
Oh, there's a lot in the
Oh,
South.
really?
Oh,
yeah. My hometown had a big Catholic presence because we have a college there that's Catholic and a monastery and a whole thing. But Christianity, the Baptists are the ones that rule the
Well, he went to an
roost.
all-nun school and got beaten up all day.
I think
Yeah.
of Catholic like Boston, like
Kind
those
of, yeah,
kind
but
of
I think
areas.
a lot in like North Carolina,
Yeah.
Virginia,
Yeah.
Atlanta, New Orleans, like Louisiana.
Well, where I'm
there's
from,
50
where I'm
states.
from, the Baptists ruled the area, but I was Methodist, which was a lot tamer.
Yeah, yeah.
So I could do that. The Methodist taught, at least the church I went to, was very much of like just be good to people and treat each other with kindness, and I can get down with that. It's the
course.
fire and brimstone stuff that is not for me.
Welcome to the 4 years of America.
Yeah, well,
I'm Armenian. Did I say that?
Yes.
I've kind of gone against all grains of what an Armenian is supposed to.
Oh, yeah.
I don't look it. I speak it, but I
Yeah.
don't. Just everything about me is not Armenian.
Yeah.
And
No,
I
it's really
don't know
funny
why.
because we have Armenian friends, but then we have our Armenian friend group, which is separate from our Hollywood group, from our other group.
Yeah, and that's okay. You can
Yeah.
have pieces of yourself that exist.
Yep.
I'm very Southern, but I'm not like every Southerner. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
of
like
course.
I'm this or that, and I think having little pieces of yourself that fit different places is totally fine.
I agree.
Yeah.
Will you ever wear a dress again?
Of
I would,
course
yeah.
you will.
Okay.
I actually on the inside
I always picture Fortune in flannels and.
well, let me preface this. I would wear it comedically.
Okay.
I don't know that I would wear a dress like going to an event for
Okay,
real.
I'm making you a gown for
No.
your next performance on
for
stage when you
character,
first
yes.
come out.
For character, yes.
That would be funny.
I want to make you a gown where
Oh
you
my
come
God.
out.
That'd have to be a big gown.
Let me tell you.
They would be blown away.
That's going to be
They
a
would be
standing
like,
ovation, even
Well-
more than you're already used to in the beginning of the show instead of the end of the
Well,
show.
it's funny when I was on Chelsea lately, they used to dress me up all the time
Oh.
in very
really?
feminine dresses. I would play characters,
Yep.
I would play characters that were, wearing dresses. I have lots of pictures of me in full makeup, full glam.
Really?
And I
Lashes?
lashes.
Lips?
You wore
I
lashes?
love it.
I have a lot of because they thought it was so funny to make me make me up like that. So I don't mind it for comedy, and I think internally I'm a little bit more feminine than people might expect. I just am lazy when it comes to fashion and like I prefer to be comfortable.
Yeah.
So that's where that's why my
You
style
mean
is what
a
it is.
Sadly-
beaded gown doesn't
Yeah.
make you.
And sadly, Fortune, that's why you do not make the runway rundown
And
list.
and guess
of
what?
Jeff
I don't
Lewis.
want to make it because it's too much effort. but like wearing a gown, it requires too much
No.
effort and it's not comfortable.
Yeah.
And it I love wearing suits. I'll wear a suit all day long because it's comfortable to me.
Of course. Yeah.
But that would be like, oh, I'm scratchy or the heels hurt. Like I would be not comfortable. So that's
Yeah.
where I don't. Why I don't do it.
We're gonna change that.
Okay.
That
We're
would be
gonna
funny,
change
actually. Your
that.
next comedy
Yeah.
special, walking in a gown. People their mouths would
I'll
drop
do
to
it
the
for
floor.
a sketch, not a whole special.
You walk out and they go, "Where's Fortune? Wait."
I can't walk in heels. They would have to be.
Oh, really?
Well, you could.
They
do
would have to be a
platforms.
kitten heel
Mm.
or some kind of
you
wedge.
A wedge.
But I don't like the heels. They're it's too much.
Well,
I
you
don't
don't
know
want
how
to do a
ladies
skinny
do
heel.
it.
You could do
Oh,
the
I would
big
break
chunky.
the skinny heel. I need a chunky heel.
You'll do a chunky heel.
That's funny. What was your first comic job? Like your first job in comedy? I'm always curious.
Oh my God! I got paid $50 to do a
Ooh.
birthday party, and
Really?
I bombed so hard. It was early days.
Was it an adult?
It was for a lesbian's birthday party at a lesbian bar,
Yeah.
and I had to perform right by the stripper pole. There was a stripper pole, and when I tell you, not a single.
Would you have rather stripped
I
instead
would
of
have
doing
rather.
a comedy?
I would have rather stripped because it's a loud bar. No one wants It was not a place for comedy. I was very green. I didn't know. Like now, I could just like pivot very easily.
Yeah.
Start asking the audience questions. I didn't know. I was so new, and no one laughed for 15 minutes.
Oh no.
And she was so bummed. Like she seemed annoyed to pay me the $50. I
now?
almost told her like, "Don't worry about it." But
That's funny.
that was my first like non.
How did she
like,
find you? Like, what did you
I think
advertise
just
in the
lesbian
Craigslist?
world,
There's a lesbian
There's
world.
a lesbian circuit. But my first professional gig would have been Last Comic Standing 2010.
Oh, fun.
I watched that.
Yeah.
I
And then
love
I got
That
Chel-
was the one we watched on
Yeah.
the
I
big
love that.
stage. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
that was my first like big professional
yeah.
job. And then I got Chelsea lately to January 2011, so it's about 6 months after that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then how did you get to Netflix?
Just many years of
The grind.
The grind.
That we're still
yeah.
in the hustle.
I mean, luckily after I got hired at Chelsea, I've been working ever since.
That's great.
She really opened a lot of doors for me because
Mhm.
I was, I had tested twice for SNL, 2009, 2010.
Yep.
Was very close to these bigger things and just
Yeah.
wasn't getting them.
Yeah.
And then she gave me that first break, and so I was on her show for 4 years, and then I was a writer for 3 of the 4.
That's an ass. You write too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, okay.
So I was a full-time writer for her for 3 years on the show.
Right.
And then the last year I left to pursue acting full-time, but stayed on the round table.
Got it.
So
Now, when you were writing were you writing for other people or for yourself?
no, I was writing on her writing staff for her for the show.
So other sketch for other people acting out.
We wrote for everybody. We
Got
wrote we would write towards the monologue, towards the topics,
That's
towards
cool.
the panelists, towards yourself.
Would you be surprised if I told you they asked me to do Jay Leno?
Really?
They
Yeah.
wanted me to write for
Yeah.
Instead, he
Jay
became a
Leno.
designer.
Oh, look at that.
And I thought to
that would
myself-
that would have been a big job.
And they could not believe that what came out of my mouth after.
That's
Because we're at
hilarious.
dinner and they're like, well,
yeah.
you know, you have great one-liners. And I thought, I
Uh-huh.
don't know what they're talking about because I'm
That's
just
so
being me.
funny. Yeah.
And then they
He's
go,
funny, though,
"Well,
Jay Leno.
Yeah.
would
He
you
is.
like to write for Jay Leno? I go, why, he doesn't write his own shit? Like, why is he
No,
getting paid?
every late night person has a writing
Yeah,
staff.
I
Yeah.
had no idea.
Crazy.
Yeah, well, because it's a lot of content to keep that up every day for years. I mean, I think Chelsea's show was 7 years. It's a lot. That's
That was a great
lot of
show,
content. It was
too.
really fun.
Yep.
And then I went and did a couple of pilots that didn't go. Then I sold my own pilot.
Which pilot?
It never went. It was about my life that
Mm-hmm.
ABC bought, but it didn't get picked up. But that led to the Mindy Project. The Mindy Project's what opened my whole acting career up.
Yeah.
And then I started acting for a couple years, and during that time, Netflix offered me a half-hour special,
Okay.
just because I was in the circuit.
Right.
And a lot of cool people: Nate Bargatze, Nikki Glazer, you know,
yeah.
all these people that are.
He worked with Nikki Glazer
Yeah.
on Anthony,
With Anthony
Anderson
Anderson.
show.
Yeah, yeah.
What was it called?
Yeah.
Tell
To
the
tell
truth.
the
To tell
truth.
the truth. He played.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's so
I was a great
funny,
liar.
Yeah,
It was a doggy designer.
yeah.
That was the real person.
Oh,
and what
yeah.
did they say you were? What did you say you were? I forgot what you said you were.
I
Paul.
was.
Oh
I
God.
could see a doggy designer as well. All kinds of designers.
I said I charged
Yes.
$1,500, and then we started from there.
Oh. But that's where it started. Was that half hour? That was 2017, and then
Wow.
January 2020, my first hour with them came out. And
During
that,
COVID?
yeah. Well, I filmed it.
That's kind of a good thing, right?
At that time, I was like, this is terrible. Like, I can't go on tour. I can't promote it.
Right.
But then everyone was at home and watched
So
it.
they watched
Yeah.
it.
And
yeah.
it really changed my whole stand-up trajectory. I went from clubs to theaters.
From the
and-
stripper pole.
pole.
From $50 to
and,
500.
and now I've had 3-hour specials out in the last 5 years.
That's amazing.
That's
All on
fantastic.
Netflix.
So I have a
I
question.
love it. I watch
know
every
that
single one.
on one of I think it was the big one. It went to like number 1 or something.
6, not 1.
What was the one that went to number 1? One of them went to number 1.
Not my stand-up. I wish.
I think it was with a group of comics or something.
Foo Bar.
Oh, is that what-
the show I filmed with Arnold Schwarzenegger was
Okay.
number 1 like all over the
That's
world.
what it was.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
Fubar. So how does it feel to get up in the morning and see that your show is fucking number 1
It's pretty crazy.
all over the world?
Well, that's the Arnold effect. I take
Yeah,
very
but
little
you're-
credit for that.
But whether you take credit or
but to
not,
be
you're
part
part
of
of
it.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just such a huge movie star all over the world.
Crazy, right?
So
Yeah.
like these countries I didn't even know Netflix, got to.
Right.
It was number 1, and it was wild. And we went to Munich with him. We filmed in Prague, and then
Oh,
went to
wow.
Munich, and seeing everyone over there go nuts over him.
Wow.
He can't walk 2 feet without
Somebody
100
stopping him.
people.
Well, because he's so recognizable. Which you're so recognizable too. I mean,
But that's just on such a world stage with
Yeah.
him. But he's been famous for what 50 years
I
or
know.
something. So
Well, 'cause he was a
Um,
bodybuilder.
yeah.
He was Mr.
Yeah.
Olympia.
And then movie
Yeah.
star,
then
governor.
all of-
yeah.
yeah.
but that was weird because when we would travel with Anna Nicole Smith,
I've heard of her.
the same
You said it like, Anna Nicole Smith.
she was known
Yeah, she was
all over the world. Like
Yeah.
it was insane the amount of people. We were on the Trim Spot
Yeah.
bus.
Well,
we were
the
going
fact that-
through
Oh,
the
yeah,
states.
Trim
They
Spot. I
would
forgot about
yeah,
that.
The
and
fact
they
that we
sh-
traveled on the bus with her face on it.
Yeah,
Just so
very
it's not like they didn't know where they didn't know who was
Yeah.
driving it.
She was so entertaining to
She was
watch.
amazing.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to meet her?
I was on her. Before my comedy career took off.
Yeah.
I was an entertainment journalist by
Ah.
day.
Really?
Yeah,
No
and
way.
and I did comedy at night, and I did a couple red carpets that she was on.
Uh-huh.
So I met her in the sense of like
Were
5
you
of
at-
us have
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
microphone.
Were you
know.
at VH1
I was
Big
at-
in 04?
I was, yeah.
You were there?
So you were in the back room with Kathy Griffin, Ellen DeGeneres,
But not
me,
as a comedian.
no.
So no one would have
Sharon,
known me.
Sharon Stone.
Yeah, probably.
We were all.
I was on that red carpet. I don't know
Yes.
if I was backstage.
Remember
but
that was the
At one point-
he made the blue dress for her, Big in
Yeah.
04.
Yeah.
that
because I
number
was
1.
there and I remember seeing you there,
Yeah.
and that's when I met Bai Ling and Ellen DeGeneres.
But I was not
and-
a comedian.
No, you weren't.
Yeah.
So I didn't know, and I never spoke to you
Yeah.
then. But
That's
Kathy
so
Griffin I
funny.
knew, and Ellen I
Yeah.
had just met. So
Interesting.
that's why I was asking, but I
Yeah.
didn't know. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I just have this kind of face that, like, I remember back then, like bartenders would remember me. Like,
Yeah.
you were just at an event a month ago. Because I did a lot of events for this job. And
Yep.
I'd be like, how do you... I just have this...
The
Who are you
lesbian
writing?
face.
the lesbian face.
The lesbian. Who are you writing for? Entertainment journalist.
So Stacy Marilyn Beck was her column, but she'd kind of retired. She was sort of the West Coast version of Liz Smith.
Okay.
Less gossipy though.
Got it.
More just like, what are you working on? Tell me about your
Yeah.
project. And I did that for 7 years.
On the actual red carpets.
I did a lot of red carpets. I did mostly phone interviews though.
Who was the best celebrity you ever interviewed on the red carpet?
Oh gosh, Betty White. That was a real treat.
Oh my
Yeah,
God! You know
Julie-
he did her gown.
Julie
That's my
Andrews, really?
You
favorite.
mean Paul did her
She
most
was-
famous
Aw.
blue gown?
Every other Wednesday, we had a standing phone
Yeah.
appointment
Aw.
at 12 noon on her own
Yeah.
cell phone,
Yeah.
her own direct line, and
Yeah.
she'd pick up the phone, and I was waiting for you guys to call me.
Oh yeah, she was one of the first people I interviewed, and I loved her so much.
Yeah.
And I remember at the end of the call, and I'm sure this was probably just her like tagline. She said, "Stay my friend," and I was like, "I will."
No, she was just
She
so
was
down to
genuine.
earth
Yeah,
and
so
so
lovely.
special.
I like that kind of
Yeah.
experience. These legends, you know.
Yes.
I went to the premiere of Mary Poppins.
Oh
and
yeah,
got to
Julie
interview
Andrews.
Julie
How was
Andrews.
that? Oh my
I
God.
watched Dick Van Dyke watch himself in
Wow.
Wow.
those like really iconic stars like that are
Yeah.
who stand out to me.
I
Like,
agree.
Because that was
Yeah.
the real
yeah.
era of Hollywood.
For
The way
sure.
you know, without, I'm Instagram. Did you check my page?
Yeah, yeah, just those people I grew up watching,
Yeah.
and who I loved, my grandmother loved. You know, I saw Carol Burnett from afar at the TV
Yeah.
Land
Oh.
Awards. You know,
Yeah.
anyone like that who I just really admired. It was cool to
Jane Fonda when we went to the
Oh, yeah.
80s premiere.
Yeah.
80 for Brady.
80 for
Oh,
Brady.
Yeah.
right.
So
We've seen her. We've met her many
So
times.
we're
Yeah.
walking to carpet, and not everybody was allowed on the carpet, so we
Uh-huh.
had to have a special pass. So we're walking to carpet,
Yeah.
and then she's right behind us. She goes, "How come they're getting more attention than me?" And then everybody
You two stand out.
and then everybody wanted. Well,
Not us.
I mean, I'm not saying that we were. Obviously,
Right.
she's huge. I'm like, I don't need her to follow me. Could you go
Uh-huh.
ahead of me,
Yeah.
please? And at the end, we took a picture with her,
Yeah.
and everybody wanted to take a picture with her, and this is her. No.
She said
And
no
then
to
she liked
people.
She
was
said
like,
no to
She's,
people.
she's busy.
She said no to people. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I got a photo. I'm so privileged.
Yeah.
I felt so.
People were pissed that we got a photo. That she took a photo with us because they
Yeah.
wanted to, and
I
she
mean,
was like, "No."
But but people like her are everyone wants a picture. So
Yeah.
you do have to like kind of have your own
Right.
boundaries, I guess.
Like, how do you handle it when you're out and people want to take a photo with you?
I mean, I don't have that level of
Yeah, but it's
people
getting there.
asking
Like,
me
it's-
all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do. People were stopping you in Beverly Hills.
But I do get a lot of people that come up to me only because again I have this very distinct look, so I don't just blend in. I remember even at COVID times I would have a hat and a mask, and people were like, "What's up, Fortune?" I'm like,
You're like, "I'm trying
what
to
in
hide."
the world? But people are very lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
That's our
they're
experience.
very much like, thank you for what you do. You make me laugh,
Yeah.
or they'll tell me a very moving story, and so for me it's very flattering. I'm not there people aren't hounding me. I'm not.
You haven't
my-
had a stalker yet?
No, knock on wood.
I'm kind of looking for one.
I don't want one. I do not. I don't want that level of fame. I'm very happy with where I'm at. I
Yeah.
get to work. People seem to appreciate what I do.
But I don't think you're doing it. I don't think any of us, well, at least in the world that we're in, we're not doing it for fame. We just enjoy and love what we
Yeah.
do, and then whatever
have fun.
that helps.
It's
in
the cherry
people,
on
and that's
top.
it.
Yeah,
Pretty much,
It's
yeah.
the cherry
I
on
don't care
top.
about the rest of it.
I
mean,
just yeah.
I mean, people when they're just like, "Oh my God, the money you make," and I'm like, sometimes you just do things for free. Like, you know how
Yeah,
many things we've done
Yeah.
for
I've done
free.
many things for free. The thing that you're so lucky is when you can get to a point where you're doing what you love and you get paid for it.
Right.
Sure.
I get to make a living doing exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I know that is a very fortunate position to be in.
It's a blessing.
Which is knowing what you want to do. A lot of people don't even know that.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
so I've always, once I discovered comedy and I had a very specific goal, I was so grateful just to have that.
Of course.
Because I knew what I was working towards.
What do the brothers do?
They're
yeah.
Are they even in
No, like,
industry, or
everyone's still
one's
back-
an accountant,
No.
one's like a lawyer?
one
like,
was in the Coast Guard for many years
Okay.
and worked with like Homeland Security type stuff.
Oh wow.
And the computers, that kind of stuff. The
Yeah.
other one works at Winthrop University in the student services area.
Oh my God, it's so
and
different from you.
They have a couple businesses. They like fishing and websites, that kind of stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah,
But it's not.
But they're still in your hometown.
One lives 6 hours more at the beach, and
Okay.
the other one he's in South Carolina, but it's like 45 minutes from my hometown.
Nice.
So you're the only one that had something
came out-
unusual and different.
Yeah,
But it's not just being who you are;
Mm-hmm.
it's having an understanding what your passion
Yeah.
was at an early stage,
Right.
and
Yeah.
honing in to being able to execute it for
Yeah,
yourself.
I knew early on I did not want the
9 to 5 or
yeah, I
whatever.
did not
Right.
want that very structured life. I wanted something different. I always had when I got to college, I discovered that I hadn't seen the world. I was from a very tiny town.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I felt very sheltered in a way I didn't want to be. I knew there was more. I wanted to see more. I wanted
Yeah.
to do more. I had a very cool anthropology teacher who opened my eyes up to. I studied in Mexico with her 2 summers.
Oh wow.
For a couple, it wasn't like the whole summer, but
yeah. Cool.
I got to study the Mayan ruins and,
Oh,
and
that's cool.
climb pyramid. I mean,
Yeah.
things
Wow.
that like being from a town of 8,000 people, you know, I
wouldn't
just
have
wouldn't know
opportunity.
about.
Yeah.
And she really opened my world to want to see more. And so after I graduated college, I moved to Spain for a year because I wanted to see
We're in Spain.
Barcelona,
Sevilla.
Sevilla.
Oh,
Oh my God!
we
And
love
I was
Spain.
broke. I didn't have money, and I always let not having money keep me from things. And I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna.
Right.
I worked like 8 jobs that summer, and just lived off that.
God, that sounds like my life today.
Oh God.
I taught English for private tutor. You know
You
that.
did?
Yeah, just because I just wanted to be there and
Yeah.
like just learn about other cultures and people. I just felt like I had not gotten that kind of education
Mhm.
just being from a small
Yeah,
town, you
yeah.
know. And then that led, and then I moved to LA from there, and just I feel like I really started to grow up, and
Right.
you know.
Why'd you
just-
ever come to LA? Like, what was the goal?
I had gotten a job opportunity, just
Oh.
like a PA type job,
Like
nothing,
whatever.
yeah,
Right.
and where I was like, oh, that'll be cool to
Fun.
like
Sure.
do something different. And then once I was here, that's when I discovered I had done theater in college, but was not good at it, but we didn't do comedy, so I didn't really know that world, and I started taking groundlings classes.
Did-
as
Oh,
Did
a
you ever
hobby.
do New York? Did you ever do the circuit
Never-
in New York?
No, New York to me
Really?
was always very scary.
See, I always would
Yeah.
picture you as someone in New York.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
why.
I think I'm
so
too
weird.
laid back. I will say the California vibe, the LA vibe fits me very well.
Yeah.
Even though it's a place where people work,
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
is a chill vibe to
Yeah.
it too.
That's true.
And I'm chill. I'm all
It's
chill
fast
vibes.
though. It's faster
Yeah.
than New York. It's just different.
It is. I work my butt off,
Yeah.
but then I freaking love to get in a hot tub and chill.
Yeah,
you know
of
what I mean?
course.
Have an
Yeah.
Aperol spritz. I love both. I love you can wear jeans anywhere.
Yeah.
I just the West Coast vibe is very me, and I like New York, but when I'm there, I'm like 3 days and I want to go
See,
home.
that's us. We like to go visit.
Yeah.
We do the Broadway thing. I love Broadway. Oh my God. We'll do,
Yeah, I
hang
love it
out,
too.
and then we come right back.
Yeah, I love to go have a minute there.
Yep.
I think I like a little bit of alone time too.
Mhm.
I'm like extroverted but also introverted. I need to like regroup in
Yeah.
private. by
Wait, what's your
myself.
sign?
I'm a Cancer.
Me too. Wait a
when's your
minute. When's your
birthday?
day?
July
When's your birthday?
1st.
On July 9th.
Nice.
Look at there. Yeah. And
Wow.
I feel like I'm a Cancer pretty
I am 100%.
Sensitive.
Yeah.
Loyal.
Yeah.
Yep.
ADD,
We're like puppy dogs.
ADHD.
Yeah.
And then what's Jack's?
She's an Aquarius.
Oh, that's
so
good
that
mix.
works.
Is it? Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know a lot
that-
about the signs.
She does. Yeah, it's good. Aquarius
Yeah.
and Cancer.
Well,
yeah.
she's chill. She understands.
Paul's
That's
Capricorn.
what it is.
Okay. I
So-
don't know.
You better not.
Again,
okay.
I don't know anything about
Capricorn.
I like hearing about those
We
things. but I
love
don't know it.
Capricorns.
Yeah. My
Controlling,
mom's an
manipulative.
Aquarius too.
Oh, nice.
But I feel like my mom and Jax are very different.
Different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they get along?
Yes.
Well, there's-
Yeah,
That's
I
like-
joke about it in my last special. Like,
Oh,
yes, but
no.
also my mom. My joke was that my mom treated me like her husband. because she and my dad got divorced when I was 12. So
Yeah.
when I met Jack, she was a little, her place was
Right.
a little bit threatened.
But also being from the South, was she very accepting right away?
Yeah,
or
yeah. She's as far as coming out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Did she know before?
She claims she didn't, which seems wild to me. My brothers were like, duh, but I don't know. Again, it was her like wanting me to fit in another
Into
vision.
a
I don't know if
category.
she was seeing it,
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I
But,
like
but
that.
she's very she's been the P flag president of our county. She's been very involved.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really,
I
really
love that.
cool.
I love the
Yeah.
support of the family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my whole family's been great about that.
Mine hasn't been.
No, mine's
His
been
family
great.
adopted
My family
Yeah.
totally adopted him.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
mom and dad were, but
Yeah.
the rest of them no.
My mom, before she died, one of the things we had a conversation about, and she goes, "When are you gonna marry him?" So I gotta marry him. I gotta
That's
fulfill my
right.
mom's wish. I gotta do it.
Yeah, well, this is only my engagement ring.
Holy cow.
Right, Fortune.
Yeah.
Hello.
I'm not giving it up.
There you go.
I
It's
mean,
the only,
hello?
It's the only reason why I'm still sleeping with him.
Okay, so
stopping it.
I did a little deep dive.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Emily is your first name,
It is.
but you've never
yeah.
gone by Emily.
I did, yeah.
You did,
When I was growing up.
but it's not. Is Fortune
My
a
middle name.
stage name, or it was a real?
It's my great grandmother's maiden name, and
Really? Oh,
it's
very
what my
cool.
grandmother really wanted my mom to name me.
Oh, wow.
But
Why? I love the name, by the way.
I think that my mom would, again, following in that, Emily's the quintessential feminine little girl's
Yeah,
name,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
Especially in the 80s.
Coming down the
Yeah,
the
and my
ball,
mom
the
was-
staircase.
My mom was so desperate to have a girl. She just had 2 boys, and
Yep.
she just always wanted a girl. And and Emily was my her cousin's name, and they were like sisters, or are like sisters.
right.
And so it was Southerners are very big into family names.
Sure.
Of course.
So she always
Pass it down.
yeah,
Everybody's
so
named the same.
she was just like Emily, Emily, Emily. And my grandmother was very just her mom there were 4 sisters. They used to call them the misfortunes.
So cute.
and
Oh, Miss Fortune.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Okay.
get it.
That's cute.
There's a lot of people in our family with the last name Fortune, and so my grandmother just wanted it as a nod to that part of her family. And I always say my grandmother saw something in me long before I
Yeah.
saw in myself. She instilled a lot of confidence in me and self-esteem. She just was that unconditional love for
Yeah.
me. I grew up right around the corner from her, so she was a part of my
wow.
everyday life. My parents were always juggling, kids and work, so she would fill in a
Yeah.
lot. So I stayed with her a lot. I was like her little shadow. So when she died when I was 18,
So she never got to see you
No,
blossom and
never.
perform, and
none of it.
wow.
But I had an itch clearly to perform even in college, and I used to say, if I ever do this on a bigger level, I want to go by Fortune as a nod to her, because
Oh, sweet.
Right.
I wouldn't have the self-esteem to do it had she not instilled that in me. So it was going to be like my Carol Burnett, the ear
Yeah.
was
I like
going to
that.
be Fortune.
Yep.
And so when I moved to LA and I started groundlings classes, I was like, I'm going to just tell them my name's Fortune just to see,
Right. See what happens.
What happens. And I remember at the end of class, you do these silly games. We sat in a circle, and they
Yep.
said, go around and tell us everyone's name you remembered. And people would kind of remember, and every person was like, Fortune, Fortune,
Everyone,
Fortune,
of
Fortune,
course.
Fortune. And I was like, wow, she knew something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
again. So I just started going by it, and I thought I could be Emily in life and Fortune on stage, and it just doesn't work like that. But
Right.
truth be told, I've never resonated with the name Emily. When I was growing up, everyone called me by my last name. They would call
Feimster?
me Feimster, Femi, Femur.
So what happens when you go to the airport with your passport
I have
and
to
you're like,
use
and you're
Emily,
going,
yeah.
Emily,
Oh,
really?
yeah. But
Fortune.
it's my middle name, so it's
Yeah.
all there. But
Right.
but yeah, I don't mind it. It's just
Yeah.
part of it.
You know what? Maybe we
Um,
should change your name to your middle name.
Fuck you. I'm not using my middle name. And no one is knowing my middle name. What are you saying?
But now
Why not?
I
I've been
hate my
going
middle
by
name.
it now for 20-something years, and it
Yeah.
very much resonates with me. I feel like
You're
it is
connected
my
to
name.
it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
My family still calls me Emily, but
They
I,
do?
and that's fine because I know that's how they know me.
Yeah.
But I just don't. There's no part of me that feels
Right.
Emily,
like
yeah.
that
Yeah,
person.
yeah,
Yeah.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
I saw you recently that you performed with Alanis Morissette.
Oh, yeah, that was really
what
cool.
the fuck?
I know. It was really cool. So I have this podcast called Handsome. It's with the 2 other comedians.
Tig, right?
Tig Notaro and Mae Martin. And
she walks in front of the store all the time.
all the time.
does?
7
Tig.
a.m. in the morning.
Really?
8
All
a.m.
the
in the
time?
morning. And she gets people that stop and go, "Good
oh,
morning."
that's so funny.
I
walks
didn't
in
know.
front
Does
of
she
the
live
store.
in the area?
No,
Because
that's why I'm like,
No, she's always here.
maybe she has some kind of meetings or something. I don't know, like or
7
like a
a.m.,
production
8
company.
a.m.
I don't.
it was
I
like
don't
what
know.
a couple of weeks ago or something. He saw her and he goes, "That was
Yeah,
Tig."
I'm like,
I go
so
running out. I
funny.
go, "Oh my god, I
she's
want to
back
see
here
her
again.
Yeah,
she's always here.
I have no idea. Or maybe doctors, maybe I don't know.
Maybe because I
Um,
loved her show on when she had her show.
Yeah.
It was
That's
so
Tig.
funny.
Tig's so funny. They're both so funny.
I like her.
And this podcast just really took off in a way none of us expected, and we
Yeah.
have these lots of cool listeners, and Alanis is one of them.
Oh my god.
And or someone in her life.
Yeah.
Listen, maybe
Listen.
she doesn't. I don't know.
Right.
I don't want to speak for her, but
Right.
somehow we were connected with her, and she asked our pod a question.
Yep.
And so when I was in Toronto, May and I happened to both be there and asked if we could go see the show, and we got to meet her. And her tour manager was like, "Do you want to come up and sing?" She always brings
It's so
someone
cool.
up.
Yeah.
And I got to come up and sing a little bit of
How
ironic, and it was so cool. She like stared, she's very present,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and very into, meditation, and
Yes.
Spiritual.
spiritual. She just
Yeah.
locked eyes with me.
I love it. I saw it. It was
In a
really
way that
cool.
was so vulnerable,
Yeah.
but like meaningful. I cried after because it was such a cool connection.
But it's like such a huge moment,
Yeah,
right?
it
In your
was
life. Like,
unbelievable.
That's a huge moment.
I'll remember it forever.
I watched you on. Are you ready for your coffee read?
I'm ready.
So the coffee reading,
Oh,
Paul has
boy.
been doing it for
Why
all
do you make that face?
of our friends
He just,
and celebrities for many, many years.
you just made this face. Oh
Well,
boy. What
And he is
it?
looking into Fortune's cup, and he's going to tell her what he sees.
So you drank from Patrick's side, and then you rolled it over on the opposite side.
Oh.
This side.
You're right-handed, right?
No, it's fine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
This side seems to be kind of like a transition phase for you, which is your life, your interior orbit. You're transitioning into where you're going to start getting rooted, or where you start feeling like you're going to be at a space where you're grounded. You're not there yet. You don't feel like you're grounded yet. And it's not that you're going to do projects. It's not that you've got other things to do. It's just the feelings that you have in the space that you occupy, in the person that you're with, and the whole world, the village that you're a part of. You don't feel grounded yet. You feel like an outsider looking in, and you're a visitor into the space. You're present, but you're just a visitor.
Do you feel that way?
I hadn't been, but I've probably been feeling that more lately. Yeah.
It's in your
Because
cup.
there's something about, because you like everything that's there. You like everything that it is, but you're not connecting to it,
Interesting.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's something there that you, and there's something specific that you need to move. I don't know if you still have, are you unpacked? Because there's something that needs to be unpacked and moved and placed somewhere specific, because that's what's going to make you feel that you're grounded and it's not present to you here. What's that?
I mean, probably the whole house.
Oh my God.
Just-
Well,
just
no.
that I don't
She
feel-
moved in and went on tour.
No, I mean, we're unpacked and stuff.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel.
But there's something specific that, if it's something that you brought with you,
yeah.
that really anchors you, you don't have it out.
Yeah.
You need to put it out. What's that?
I don't think it would go in this house.
Well, it doesn't matter.
But you know what it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't
It's my
matter.
grandmother's chandelier. I had them take it out of my old house, and
Yeah.
it's in a box in the garage right now.
And you don't like that.
You have.
Well, I love the chandelier, but it's very it's an antique, and it doesn't
Right.
go in this modern.
So you don't like it. It's in a box, obviously.
Yeah, I
so-
don't like that.
yeah.
It's just like collecting
Can I give you a
dust.
suggestion?
Sure.
Ooh.
Take it out.
Uh-huh.
Have somebody. You know how they used to have in the 80s, like those poles that would have an overhang.
Yeah.
Hang it in the house. You need to have this. That's why I said you have a box. There's something in it that anchors you, and it's not out.
Yeah.
It has to be. It has to be open
Yeah.
to the space so that and it's not about the space itself. It's not about the walls. It's not about the floor. It's for you to feel anchored. And that's why you feel like a visitor when you're walking into the space.
Yeah.
You're not connected.
Yeah.
And it's not the walls that are going to be talking to you.
Yeah.
It's possibly the chandelier that has a special meaning or effect for you. And if you don't anchor it to the wall, or you don't, you're going to take it with you,
Yeah.
but you can't leave it in the box.
Okay.
You have to unpack it, take it out, put it on one of those little hanging things where
Yeah.
you could
Like an
maybe-
overhang.
Yeah.
put it in
arm,
a special
whatever. Yeah.
space so
Yeah.
it just
Interesting.
hangs over. Maybe create a little nook for yourself where when you walk in,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh,
I like that.
that's
Yeah.
the
That's
place.
very cool. Good
I like
idea.
that too.
Now you didn't think I would see that. I didn't even
I wasn't
know
sure what you're gonna see in there.
It's insane, right?
because you moved into a new house.
Yeah.
But this item,
Wow.
where did you bring it from? Because it's haven't been packed in a long time.
It was it was in my grandmother's house when I was growing up, and then when we sold it, my mom had it taken. 2 of the chandeliers taken out of the house.
Okay.
This one is a little one. I always loved it because she would do the prisms. She
Oh,
would
yeah.
swing it,
That's cool.
and so I think of her. That's a core memory with
Sure.
her was showing me the prisms, the rainbows.
Yeah.
I love
And
that.
so then I had it shipped from North Carolina out to LA, and I put it up in the old house. And then when Jeff was doing the remodel,
He said, this doesn't work in
well,
the new.
no, he knew I wanted it, so we put a nice modern
Yeah.
light for the house, and
then you put it in the box.
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
Take it out.
okay.
Put it on. Even if
pole.
it's, I'm telling you, they have.
Yeah, I'll have to look into it. I didn't think about that option.
Put it.
Because I don't like that it's in the garage. Just I moved it the other day because of the rain and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I see it every day.
Yeah.
It's just I don't like it sitting on the thing.
Take it out. Let it be
Okay.
what it means for you, no matter where you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
send me a picture. I want to see
All right.
it. Interesting. Wow.
Does it have crystal on it?
Uh-huh.
What's the shape of the crystal?
It's got some of the crystals are rounded, and then some are that rigid, long, the
Like straight ones?
skinny long ones. It's a hodgepodge. There's some amethysts in there.
Why are you asking that, Paul?
Because there's a shape in here, and I thought maybe that shape, it's the shape of not a teardrop, but it's more of like a half a heart sort of a thing. So I don't know if the edges are soft
Yeah.
and curled.
I would have to look at. It's been a minute since I've really really looked at it, so I would have to
Take it out,
look. Yeah.
hang it on a pole or something.
Yeah.
Designate a little space for it.
Okay.
Let it be what it's always been for you, as it's supposed to be.
I like
So that you can get anchored.
Okay.
And it's not the house.
Yeah.
Trust me, when you take that out and you have it hanging,
Yeah.
you're going to start connecting to the entire orbit that surrounds you
Yeah.
differently and better.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's another journey you're starting. This journey that you never anticipated, probably a journey at one point you thought was dead. Wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to amount to anything. It fell through. It got stagnant. It just, that's about to be revealed.
Oh.
And that's going to start taking you in a direction that you never anticipated. And the
Okay.
the
That's
way it's
interesting.
going to elevate you is exactly, so let's say it's going to propel you 20 years from now. So, but you're going to have it now. So you know how you said that you had the opportunities with Chelsea Handler, and then it opened up another door. And it's the same thing with any business, right?
Yeah.
When you start a job and then people get to notice you and you do good work and whatever. But this is something that's for you specifically, that you've manifested, that you wanted to see through, but it never happened. And now that's going to be opening up a place where it's going to be, oh, that's what you're asking about? What?
Okay.
And then you're going to be like, okay,
Yeah.
I got it. And you're going to be, it's going to be, I think, you know how when you, the pride that you have in the work that you do and the accomplishments and the goals that you set for yourself,
Yeah.
this is going to be one of those unexpected things that you never thought would come through for you. And it's going to be delivered. It's really, really beautiful.
Oh, I like that.
Ew.
That's a good thing.
That's
Okay,
interesting.
yeah.
Wow, that's very cool.
I'll keep you posted.
Huh.
Who's trying to come back into your life that you either paused from or and this is somebody very familiar to you, either a family or a friend, very close one, and you're like, you know what,
Nope.
like I just can't, I don't know,
Yeah.
not that you don't have space for them, but you, for whatever reason, you're hesitant in allowing that energy back.
Yeah.
But I gotta tell you, you should let this one back.
Do you know who it is?
I think so. Yeah.
There's this very specific nurturing quality that you, and when I say nurturing, it's not a parent, but it's someone that you felt very close to, that you can share things with, that either you miss or just the authenticity
Yeah.
of what it
I
was.
was like, I've never thought of him as nurturing, but no,
Well-
familiarity. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
For you, it's
Yeah.
not like they were doing things for you, but
Yeah.
just the contact
Yeah.
was what made you feel nice.
Wow.
Who's that person, though?
It's a family member. I'll tell you later.
Family
Okay,
member.
but it's a
Yeah.
family member.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
What's their initial? First name, middle initial, or last name, middle, like initial?
Jay.
So, why did you stop? Why do you think it's that person? Of all the people
We
you
just had
know,
a little
millions
bit
of
a
people,
little bit of a time that we didn't talk for a bit, but now we are.
but you welcome it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, because family.
Yeah.
Do you see that J in there?
Oh yeah.
Right here?
There's a J in
That's
there?
the person I was talking about. Because when
Crazy.
the gap happened, I don't think either of you knew. And I think make the space what it was. Because that's giving you the comfort, peace.
Yeah.
It's strange because I don't know the relationship.
Yeah.
So you'll tell me, but that's what it's providing.
Wow. These things are all